the show designed to enlighten, encourage, and empower our viewers for growth and success. Thriving Women's mission is to inspire our viewers to thrive, not just survive. Let's take a moment to introduce your Thrive Tribe. Noelle Ramos, financial coach from Atlanta, Georgia. Sabrina Protip, author and life coach from Tampa Bay, Florida. Stacy Soley, menopause coach from Palm Harbor, Florida. Gina Marie Casano, transformational coach from Bayville, New York, along with our business correspondents. Dana Washington, real estate investor from Tampa Bay, Florida. Deirdre Pittman, tax strategist from Tampa Bay, Florida. Brianna Johnson, financial coach out of Chicago, Illinois. And Sylvia Camacho, financial coach from California. Now let's get ready to be empowered, and here's your Thrive Tribe. Thriving Women Talk is powered by the Trendsetter Mentor Group, an exclusive membership for mentorship on Facebook.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Thriving Women Talk. My name is Gina Casano, and I am honored to be here with the Thrive Tribe, our guests, and all of you, our listeners from across the world. Our mission each week is to encourage, enlighten, and empower our viewers to thrive, to become their best version of themselves. We have an inspiring and empowering show for you today. Thriving Women is inspired to convey awareness to global warming in the month of November. Before we get started on that, I just want to check in. Today is a very important day in the history of the United States. It is Election Day, and I just want to check in and see how you're all doing. How are you keeping your peace? How are you staying grounded? How are you communicating with those who don't agree or share your same values? So there's a lot to consider, and I just wanted to do that check-in and make sure that you still are being your authentic self and also able to communicate with others who might not have the same perspectives or views. Let's continue on with the global warming. Each week this month, we're going to share an insight on why global warming matters, how global warming is impacting our weather patterns and natural disasters, and what can we do personally to stay educated and informed on this topic. Also, today we have our life and business strategy segment, and we're going to answer the question, what is a life and business coach and why do we need one? How we can benefit from having a coach. And so we invited author and business success coach, Galit Ventura Rosen, to share her insight on this empowering topic. Galit's mission is to empower, inspire, and motivate others to believe in themselves, whether by using lessons from her book, The Successful Woman's Mindset, offering innovative strategies for HR as a corporate trainer, or raising the productivity of others as an executive coach. Galit, welcome to Thriving Women, and thank you for investing your time with us. Sabrina, with so much uncertainty in the world today, do you have any inspiring news that we could use?
Yes, I do. And welcome again, Galit. It was nice seeing you on our screen. We're going to talk about a very inspiring and almost chilling story. And this is of a teacher. I don't know if we can see a picture. There she is. Wow. This is called a hero. So this is of a teacher in a classroom, and she heard this grandparent slurring her words, and this teacher ends up saving the grandparent's life from a stroke. So the teacher had always been a rather resourceful person, but in the age of a coronavirus, the challenges are even greater. And this heroic faculty member had an opportunity to really step to the occasion and save a woman's life. So when this first grade teacher, Julia Kopp, got a phone call from a grandparent who said there were a computer glitch. This grandparent says, there's a computer glitch. She knew it was more than just a glitch. She knew there had to have been a problem because this woman's speech was very slurred. This is what she reported to CNN. And she says this grandparent just didn't sound like herself. So this teacher, Cox, immediately leaped into action, alerting the school's principal, Charlie Lovelady, to the Phillips residence. Well, Lovelady, the principal, familiar with stroke symptoms, having lost his own father to one, kept Phillips on the phone while another staff member dialed 911. And even after the ambulance was dispatched, Lovelady went the extra mile, tapping 2 or more workers to head over to the Phillips home. to ensure that the kids were okay and to make sure everything was fine. Without Cox's quick thinking and Lovelady's decisive actions, the outcome would have likely have been very tragic. Phillips is grateful to be alive and has nothing but praise for her real-life guardian angel. She says, "Thank you for saving my life. If it wasn't for them getting me help, the help that she needed at that time, she probably wouldn't have even been here." So the heroic actions, even in a virtual circumstance, even when we're not physically meeting with people, we see where this teacher was able to rise to the occasion and lend assistance along with the principal to actually save someone's life. Wow. That's amazing. Noelle?
That is truly amazing. You know, you don't get to hear these feel-good stories anymore. And the fact that she was just able to tell over the phone, I mean, that's impressive. I'm not even sure if I would be able to do that, but good thing she was quick on her toes and was quick thinking. So thank you, Sabrina. You know, it's good to hear those warm-hearted, good stories. We need those every once in a while. Those just like warm your bellies. So, but right now we are going to share an informative YouTube video on global warming. And when we come back, our Thrive Tribe is going to start our conversation on global warming and why this topic really matters.
In our series, The 2020s, can you believe that? We're exploring the big topics that will dominate the conversation in the next decade. Well, today, our focus is on climate change. Over the last 10 years, sea levels have risen at an alarming rate. Biodiversity is reportedly declining faster than that of any time in human history. And millions of people have been affected by extreme weather like hurricanes and floods. As 2019 ends, this year is likely to be one of the hottest on record. So what can we expect over the next decade? CBS News meteorologist and climate specialist Jeff Berardelli is here to explain. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Yeah.
I know we hear climate change. We do think doom and gloom. The world's coming to an end relatively quickly. But what are some of the technological advancements and innovation should we be looking at to help improve the issue of climate change?
So this is the best part, right? Sometimes you go to the doctor and the doctor says, "I'm sorry, there's not much I can do for you."
Right.
We know the answer. And the answer is to move away from fossil fuels and start leaning on sustainable energy. And here's the best part. The more we use sustainable energy, which is, you know, this energy that's given to us by the sun and the wind, it is free. The more that the prices go down of that, the more we have to create vast industries and vast employment and opportunities for ourselves. So the bottom line is that we can create a better life for ourselves. So we don't have to look at this as a death sentence or doom and gloom.
Right.
We can look at this as a time that we can create a brand new and better future with better jobs, higher paying jobs. So just to give you an idea, for every one job in fossil fuels to create 1 unit of energy, you need 2 or 3 of those jobs in solar power. And the fastest growing opportunities in the next decade, number 1 is wind technician, number 2, solar technician. Think about that.
Benefit the economy, benefit the environment.
And make it
in the same
clean.
way. We've talked before on the Saturday show about this, but the Arctic and the Amazon seem to be the 2 areas with the biggest change that we're seeing ahead.
So these are tipping points. We need to watch them closely. The Amazon, it's being slashed and burned very quickly. Climate change is drying it out. And if we're not careful, it could turn into a savanna. So from a rainforest with all that life into a savanna. Right now, it's acting as a carbon sink. It's pulling tons of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. It is helping us slow down the consequences of climate change. Pretty soon, it may not be able to do that. Same thing with the Arctic and permafrost. Permafrost is frozen ground in the Arctic tundra. That now this year has changed from being a net absorber of carbon dioxide to being a net emitter, which means that it causes climate change to spiral and go even faster. And we have to watch out for destabilization of ice shelves in the Arctic and Antarctic. That's something we hope doesn't happen, but if it does, sea level creeps up even faster.
All right, Jeff Berardelli, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Next week in our 2020 series, we'll explore the next decade in health and what advancements we could see.
For more episodes of the Thriving Women Talk Show, visit the Mindshift Coaching Services YouTube channel and subscribe. Experience the shift with transformational coaching through Mindshift Coaching Services. Our expertise is in mindset, habit, and behavior change, providing total support and accountability. Together, we will transform your pain into power using transformational coaching method techniques to guide you towards creating a clear vision and purpose while aligning your actions with your goals. To learn more, visit mindshiftcoaching.com. Now, back to Thriving Women.
Welcome back to Thriving Women Talk. We're going to continue our conversation on global warming, and I want to bring in Gina so she can lean in a little bit more on this topic.
Hi, thank you. Thank you. This month's topic on global warming, we value creating awareness on topics that impact our lives. And this is a big one. We're going to answer this question. Is it too late to prevent climate change, and what can we do? Science confirms that humans have caused major climate changes to happen already. And we have set in motion more changes to come, but there's so much more needed, right? Even if we stopped emitting greenhouse gases today, global warming would continue to happen for at least several more decades, even maybe centuries. And that's because it takes a while for the planet, like the oceans, to respond. And because carbon dioxide, the predominant heat trapping gas, lingers in the atmosphere for hundreds of years. There's a time lag between what we do and when we actually feel it and see the results. Sabrina, would you share some research from NASA?
Yes, Gina, I would love to. So, on this matter of global warming, there is just no one size fit all to stopping or slowing down this global warming. Each individual, business, municipality, state, tribal, or federal entity must weigh out our own options in light of our unique set of circumstances. In fact, the experts say it's likely that many strategies working together is what we need for a global solution. Generally speaking, I'm going to just kind of outline a few examples of some mitigating strategies that maybe we as individuals can implement, or even companies and businesses. So here are a few things. Maybe where possible, you can switch to renewable energy. We know solar is a really big thing right now, and wind energy, powering those things naturally by the elements that are natural to us. So some people, you see, they're powering their homes, buildings, to help us eliminate some of these heat trapping gases in our atmosphere. Where possible, electric cars. I know when I have been going out to a lot of public parking lots, I see the little public car stations where they plug in. I think that's very unique. I thought it was unique, but I never thought about me doing it. But this could be an answer to help burn some of those fossil fuels. Also, where affordable, we can conserve energy by better insulation in our homes. I know here, TECO, our energy company here, they were offering rebates many, many years ago on rebating by, insulating your home. So check with your power company and see if there is any rebates available. Also, updating your appliances, old gas and heating elements, things like that are more now power efficient. Where practical, we can support local businesses that promote sustainable climate control, such as some of the things that we mentioned earlier. What about considering placing some limits on the amount of carbon dioxide that are in our atmosphere? There are different ways and elements that have these things under control. There are actually tools and things that you can buy that can measure the carbon dioxide in the air. So where possible, we can also switch to some of the things we mentioned about the solar and wind, for our homes. So there are really some things that we can do personally, individually, to help with this. What we want to be mindful of is just do not waste energy. Do not waste it. Planting trees. We got plenty of those around my house. I would say if we got a chance to grade me, I'd probably get an A on that. My husband loves shrubs and trees. So this puts that good oxygen and good air, into our atmosphere. So these are just some practical solutions to helping with this problem before it really gets out of hand. Noelle, what do you think?
You know, like you, Sabrina, I got plenty of trees around my house, and I've actually thought about cutting some down because I have no sun coming in and my house stays cold during the winter. But after listening to you talk, I'm sure I will continue to leave them there. Plus, it's not cheap cutting down trees. But continue on with our conversation. By becoming more energy efficient, you're not only polluting less, but you're saving money too. And we want to consider some of these small changes you can do to help as well. So, we, Sabrina mentioned, updating our appliances. A house with a furnace is like a car that idles all day long, if that makes sense. So you want to swap out your furnace for maybe a heat pump, which works by extracting heat from your location and transferring it to another. You want to install a programmable thermostat. And also another idea is to swap your gas stove for an electric stove. That can also lower your indoor air pollution. Another thing to think about is to unplug your computers, maybe your TVs and other electronics when you're not using them. I personally didn't even think about unplugging my TV, but that's definitely a thought now I'll consider when leaving the house. Wash your clothes in cold water and hang dry them when you can, and use dryer balls if you cannot. So I had to look up what dryer balls were, and apparently they're an actual ball, and they say they help your clothes dry a little bit faster, so it's more efficient. I don't know, blind moment, I guess, but I didn't know what a dryer ball was. I had to look it up. And you want to look for Energy Star labels when buying new appliances. And also winterize your home. You want to prevent heat from escaping and try to keep in the cool when the summer is in the air condition, summer without an air conditioner, sorry. And change to energy efficient light bulbs. I have been doing that recently myself. I don't know about you ladies, but I've bought tons of light bulbs, and it's getting expensive. But you want to also try and get a home or workplace energy audit to identify where you can make the most energy saving gains. So I want to reach out to Brianna and ask, what happens if we don't start now?
Well, good morning, Thrive Tribe. I absolutely love this topic because it's so very, very important. So let's talk about what happens if we do not start today, ladies and gentlemen. So in the absence of major action to reduce emissions, global temperature is on track to rise by an average of 6 degrees 10.8 degrees Fahrenheit. So according to the latest estimate, some scientists argue a global disaster. Like a global disaster, I can't even imagine. Are we really living in these times? So, and a global disaster is already unfolding at the poles of the Atlantic, aka the Arctic, guys. So maybe ice free at the end. We may be ice free at the end of the summer, and the melting season is definitely approaching us within a few years. So yet other experts are concerned about Earth passing one or more tipping points, abruptly, perhaps irreversible changes that tip our climate into a new state. So this will be absolutely devastating, and I really hope that we do not get to this point. So it's definitely time to start utilizing some of the points that Noelle went over and Sabrina went over, so that we can get ahead of this issue. So I want to pass it along to Gina because I know she has some things that she wants to talk about as well.
Thank you. Yes, solving climate change requires us all to work together. It is not possible to do that without finding a common ground with those who might not share our perspective. So how can we communicate more effectively and share what we believe without forcing it on everyone else? Because when you do that, nobody listens. But here's the thing. People often trust peers, family members, close friends, loved ones more than they trust experts like scientists or environmental organizations. So there's an opportunity to talk to people in our circle about climate change in ways that we cannot hear on this show do, right? And so you're more likely to open people's minds because they trust you. You have a relationship, right? You can learn from Climate, a fun and interactive chatbot that teaches you how to have conversations around climate change. It decreases divisiveness. It helps to cultivate empathy and find common ground. Overcoming polarization is the key to moving forward, and we need to do that together. And so we're going to take a quick sponsor break, and when we come back, we will talk about what is a life and business coach and why do we need one.
Welcome back to Thriving Women Talk. On this segment of the show, we're going to be talking about life and business strategies, and we're going to talk about the growing need for coaches. Life and business strategy coaching is becoming a mainstream profession, offering up skills that many seek to acquire. You may be discovering that more people around you are getting coached or even studying to become coaches. Former CEO Google CEO Eric Schmidt advocates coaching by saying, everybody needs a coach. Every famous athlete, every famous performer has someone who's a coach, someone who can help themselves and see themselves. So Schmidt comments that the heart of coaching, he says, is a supportive relationship that can be the cornerstone of personal growth. In fact, people who have a tight network of positive human bands exhibit greater life satisfaction and better emotional and physical trusted source. While each of these important people in their own way and in their own life play a significant role in your happiness, a life and business strategist coach can provide unique value by helping to mirror your true self, unjudged person, your values, your thoughts, and your views of another person. When you see yourself as you already are, free from the desires of others and opinions of others, it becomes much easier to figure out where you'd like to go, what you'd like to do, and which parts or wholes of the greatest promise for the greatest fulfillment of you, the meaning of your life. Coaching is different from any psychotherapy. It can be used in conjunction with therapy. It focuses on helping clients to thrive in the presence of future and creating a vision and action plan towards the life and living life to its fullest capacity. Let's get some insight on this topic from our guest, Galit Ventura-Rosen, author of the book, The Successful Woman's Mindset. Welcome, Galit.
Well, thank you for having me, ladies.
We're glad to have you on the show. I have a few things I want to run past you.
Sure.
Can you share with our viewers what is a life and success coach and what type of individuals need your service?
Sure. So I'm going to separate the two because they really are different and sometimes they actually cross. So let's talk about a life coach first. If you're stuck, you're thinking of changing professions, you're going through a big change in your life, you're just not in a place where you can see from the outside in and know the tools and make the changes that you would like to get to the next level of your life, then I would suggest you look at a life coach. A success business coach, which is what I do, is that there you're looking for someone that's either going to show you the tools and the insider type of things that are related to being successful in your business and being profitable. So business coaches are really about, do I want to have my own business and start one? Or maybe I'm already in one, but I'm still working my regular job. How can I go full time and make enough income so that way I can leave my 9 to 5? And a business coach is really someone that's going to hold you accountable. And that's really similar in the life coach and the business coach. A lot of times we can't see for ourselves what others can. And it's so interesting because you could give advice to somebody else all day long, but when it comes to yourself, a lot of times we need that person that can look from the outside in and really take the time to spend with you to learn what you want to succeed at and help you do that.
Galit, that was an excellent explanation, because as a life coach, myself personally, I know that I don't delve into the business like that. You know, it may be a cornerstone as to maybe why you're having some other personal issues, but the decisive factor is that you really get into the strategies of the business and also the decision-making process between pivoting to a business. So thank you for that beautiful explanation. But now, what inspired you to become a speaker and a coach? And how should we choose a coach that fits our needs?
Think of it as an interview. Think about it as if you were going to a job, or let's switch the roles. What if you were the boss and you were interviewing somebody for a job? I want you to think about it that way. So the way that I would choose someone is, first and foremost, always ask people that you know if they know of someone. When you start with the referral base, you're kind of already half the way there. Maybe somebody's already worked with that coach if it's a life or business coach, or maybe somebody's already had experience from a friend working with them. And then when you get on that call with them, and if you can, do a video call. Very common today. Get to see them, get to know them, see the way that they express themselves, see the way they talk. And what you want to do is you want to first and foremost make sure they are listening. They're not telling you what you should or shouldn't do. They first take the time to listen. What is it you want to accomplish? Why are you on this call with me today? These are the things that that coach should be asking you. And these are the things that you should be sharing. And when they're done listening and they get a chance to really understand what you want to accomplish in your life or business, that's when they would share with you the transformation. And it's about the transformation that they can help you, empower you, and show you how to get to.
Beautiful, beautiful. And we have Gina Marie Cassano. Gina, you're in a similar profession. Can you share with us on the why and the what when it comes to choosing a coach?
Absolutely. So why you would choose a coach is because you want to have a fresh perspective. You feel stuck, or you can't see what's possible, or you've tried so many things and nothing seems to work. You're not getting the result that you want. You want clarity, right? You might not even know what you want. What is your vision and your purpose? And many people don't know. And so a coach can help you get there. And what you can expect from a coaching relationship, the right relationship, is energetic alignment. You feel good when you're speaking to your coach, and your coach is supportive and they listen. You're being heard, you're being seen, right? They're helping you see a fresh perspective. They're giving you tools and tips on how to, step back, clear the clutter out of your mind so you can actually see another perspective, right? Because sometimes we're too emotionally involved to think or see clearly, right? And so when you hire a coach, the right coach, because there are many coaches out there. I'm a coach, you're a coach, like we're all coaches, right? But it doesn't mean we're right for everyone, and it doesn't mean every client is right for us. So there's got to be that energetic alignment. I really feel strongly about that. finding a coach that has a very strong purpose, why they became a coach, like why I became a coach, right? It's very clear. I am doing what I love. I am supporting people who want to move forward and need accountability, support, and a program or strategies to help them get there. The accountability is key, right? We need to be held accountable. There are many times we show up or we don't show up out of fear, or we're taking action or we're not taking action out of fear. And so how do we overcome that fear, and how can we look at it from a different perspective and say, hey, you know what? Maybe this is possible. Let me see. And it's not about success or failure. It's about trying something, seeing what works for you, taking what works or what went well, seeing what can be changed or improved, and constantly inspecting as adapting as you go, right? So it's not failure or necessarily success. You want to get the results that you want, but you're going to try different things, and having that support and accountability of a coach who has a toolbox full of resources and skills and knowledge, transformational coaching techniques, that's mindset, habit, behavior change. It's not easy. Right? It doesn't happen overnight. It is a process and it is a journey. And so to have a coach that is supporting you, holding you accountable from a loving space, and helping you see clarity on your vision and purpose is going to be key for that and for your success in moving forward in having what you want in your life. Noelle?
Thanks, Gina. Thank you, Gina and Galit. You know, I just want to reiterate some of the things they said, because we need coaches, whether we think it or not. If we want to, if some of us just aren't organized. I'm not organized. I've needed mentor. I've needed coaches. These women on these show, they coach me through a lot of things. So I don't want to say basically the same thing they did, but you want to reiterate, we're emotional human beings. And so we sometimes need that guidance, that extra push, that extra motivation that these coaches can give us. Because let's just face it, in our daily lives, we get cluttered with to-do lists and our minds just get overwhelmed. We have endless things to do. We have endless, we have children to take care of. We have husbands to take care of. We have, husbands or wives, depending. And the list goes on and on. And under these conditions, trying to reflect on our aspirations is like trying to produce a fine piece of art on a desk cluttered with random paperwork. So scheduling a coaching session, it just allows us to set aside the time that we need personally to just sit in an empty desk, figuratively sit at an empty desk and draw our big picture on a clean slate. We need that clear view, that clean idea of what we're wanting to accomplish. And when we dedicate time to just charting out our needs and our wants, particularly with the guidance of a supportive coach, we can see beyond the clutter that maybe we couldn't see before, and we can gain a more clear perspective of where we want to go, how we want to get there, and the timeline we want to get there in. So I want to ask Galit and Gina, can you just share a testimony of someone that has benefited from having you as a coach? And Galit, I'd like to start with you first, please.
Sure, absolutely. I had the pleasure of working with this woman last year for a full 12 months. At first, we worked 4 times a month, and then we switched over to 2 times a month after that in the coaching program. And she actually still owns a real estate company, and she was literally going out and selling homes and putting her money back into the business to keep her brokerage open. And what's really exciting about her is I said to her, well, what is the one thing you want to do with your life that you're not doing right now? And she said, I want to spend every Friday playing my harp. That's what she wanted to do. It was that simple. So the testimony that I received from her was, and I get to see it every day because of social media, the changes, is that I gave her the tools and I had the challenging and difficult talk with her about how to stop worrying about people's emotions in her business and instead turning around and looking at it as a business, because there was a lot of dead weight that she needed to make changes with. So she appreciated me so much because aside from the strategic tools that I gave her to be successful in marketing and recruiting and growing her business and hiring an assistant, I was able to also show her that her business does not have to be her life, that instead she can build her business around her life.
Galit, thank you for that. I love that you were telling her she still needed something outside of business. That's great. And it's amazing. And you don't hear that too often. It's just usually grind.
Yeah.
So thank you, Galit, for that story. Gina, can you weigh in on one of your stories too, please?
Absolutely. A client that I worked with was a male, and he was struggling at home with his relationship with his ex and new wife and his children. And with that struggle, he was also struggling as a leader of a team in his business. And so what I got the good fortune of being able to do was be able to support him and guide him both in life and business strategies as a leader, and also how he shows up at home and at work, right? Because here's the thing, when you have a lot going on at home and you're struggling and your relationships are struggling and there are challenges and nothing you're doing seems to get the result that you want, it's hard, and you take yourself to work. And so that affects how you show up as a leader for yourself, for your colleagues, for your team, and it affects how you actually lead. And so this man was struggling in multiple avenues of his life. And by the end of our several-month coaching program, he was able to lead by example. He was able to be clear on expectations from his team. He was able to openly communicate positive feedback and what they could improve upon. And that changed everything for him in business. And it helped his relationships at home, because he was able to then communicate what he wanted at home and set boundaries that were healthy, not just for him, but for his children and his family with ease, because he had the support, he had the tools, and he had the resources, which I was able to provide to him, and it changed his life. And so while there's still challenges, the biggest challenges that he has overcome was leading a team, creating a shared vision, having healthier relationships, both at work and at home. And he has done that with my support.
Wow. Thank you, Gina, for sharing that testimony as well. I mean, if you weren't thinking you needed some kind of coach, these two great testimonials show that what could it hurt? You know, we have Gina, who is helping a man with both his personal and his business and to become a better leader. And who doesn't want to be just slightly better than they were yesterday? It's great stuff, ladies. Thank you for those testimonies. You're the true definition of why it's a good thing to have coaches in our lives. And I want to bring Brianna into this conversation right now and have her continue our conversation with coaches and why we need them.
Yes, absolutely. You ladies did an amazing job. And I definitely see the importance of separating sometimes your business life from your personal life, because they can become intertwined and it can cause a lot of stress, right? So for me personally, what I found that works is literally setting business hours for myself. It doesn't matter if I'm working from home or wherever the case is. If I'm going to work from 10 to 6, I'm going to work from 10 to 6, and I'll set an alarm for myself so that I can snap out of that business mode so that I can take care of some personal things so that that doesn't necessarily dwindle. So a coach can help us take a step back and definitely look at our entire lives, because sometimes we're just focused on the parts that need immediate attention, right? The kids need this, my husband needs this, my wife needs this, and that can demand like a lot of attention and just cause a lot of stress. So we are a complex mesh of intertwined life domains. So as far as our careers, finances, health, family, and romantic and social life, etc. And personal growth is never about a single slice of life. So when things go well in one part of our life, this definitely positively spreads to other parts of our lives. So for example, if we have a bank full of money and everything is going life in our personal life with our spouses and our business is doing well, then guess what? That positive energy is going to definitely spread over into when we come into the office, we'll be more happy. Everything will just be very, very pleasant. And this is something that I actually learned as well. And that is the importance of having a balanced life. A balanced life equals a healthy life. So thank you, ladies, for chiming in. We all need coaches. I love my coaches. They are amazing. And I love learning from the Thrive Tribe as well. So Galette, can you tell us what would day one look like for me if I personally decided to use your service, okay, as a success coach for my personal business? What would that look like?
First of all, Brianna, we'd have a lot of fun if we got on a call together. So I have a lot of fun with my coaching. I'm a very serious person, but I'm also a lot of fun. So we'll just start there. But the second thing that you would expect is our coaching would start before we even got on that first video call. I do all my coaching through video because I want to see you and I want to hear you the best that I can. You're going to get questions before the first day that we even start that are going to ask you, what are 3 goals you want to accomplish with me? What are 3 things that are holding you back from those goals? And why? Number one reason why you decided that you wanted to hire me. And then when we jump on that first call, which typically is usually an hour to an hour and a half, I do a lot of listening. I listen to really understand what you want. I listen to what it is you want to accomplish. And then I also learn about how you best learn, because every single person I work with is so unique and so different. I don't have any kind of cookie cutter programs. I build my programs based on every single person I speak to's needs. And I only work with women in business coaching right now. So obviously there's a lot that I would understand, but every woman operates different and every woman speaks differently. And more than anything, you're going to get off that first call with some action steps, specific action steps that are written down for you that I want you to accomplish before we meet again, which is typically 2 weeks later. And you're going to be excited, but you're always also going to be a little uncomfortable, because the only way that you're going to change is if you're a little uncomfortable. A lot of times when I wrap up with my coaching clients, the first day, they've got a little bit of shortness of breath and they're moving around and they're really nervous and overwhelmed. And I said, good. That means that change is going to happen.
Wow, that's amazing, Galette. Truly amazing. I love the fact that you said you don't have a cookie cutter recipe. It's not all one fits in, everyone fits in one box, not all one fits all. So I know Sylvia, she's dying to lean in on this as well. If we could bring Sylvia on. There she is.
Hi, good morning. It is a good topic. Nowadays, every business person needs a business coach. And that's why the alliance we form with our coach can help us discover what is intrinsically meaningful to us, beyond the expectations and goals of others. Talent life coach do not offer authoritative prescriptions. Instead, they empower their clients to come up with their own answers, dreams, and plans to achieve them. A good coach assumes that only you are authoritative to decide how to go about your own life. What about the things that light you up? What makes you tick? Years from today, what will you regret having passed up? Once we identified how we derive meaning in our life, we can focus on the directions of our calling. Galette, how long does it take to start realizing results from hiring a life coach, and how do we find a great coach?
Absolutely. Sylvia, before we jump into that, you said something so relevant at the end, and I'm going to read it. You said, once we identify how we derive meaning in our life, we can focus on the direction of our calling. And I'm going to share with you that I work with passion-driven women that love what they do, don't wake up on Monday and regret having to work or start. If anything, I have to teach them how to set boundaries because they love what they do so much. And I know Brianna mentioned that before, and that's a big part of being successful, is setting those business hours and knowing, okay, family time, me time, working out time, whatever it might be. So the answer to your question, Sylvia, would be, how long does it take to start realizing results? Well, that really depends on the person that I'm working with. I see people that get results after the first session because they're just so ready and so excited, and they implement those steps and those strategies immediately. And I also stay in touch with them during sessions. It's part of the coaching. So they'll be emailing me and saying, oh my gosh, I got a client. Oh my gosh, I made a change that made me profit. I actually took a day off. It's one of those things where when you finally decide to hire a coach, you're pretty much typically ready, and you've been ready for a while. You just need that fire lit, and you need that accountability to make sure that you start making those changes. And the best way to find a fit is to just interview a few people. Do your research online. Ask your friends. Ask people you know. Who do they know that they know is a great coach? Some people will make a post. Who's a great business coach? Please tag someone that you love, and then do your research. Find out about them, read about their testimonials, interview them, and ask them the questions so you know that they're a right fit. And Gina said it, there'll be a second level to that. The second level is, do you connect with them? Do you see yourself working with them in the long haul? Because if you don't see yourself working from them, then they're not the right fit for you.
Galit, thank you once again. I mean, truly powerful. I mean, how rewarding is it that you get to grow with your clients and get to see, their happiness and get to see what, their successes. You're a part of their success stories, and that's a remarkable experience. I want to continue this conversation, but right now we need to take a sponsor break. And when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation on our life and business coaches, and we might need them.
Thriving Women Life Strategies is powered by Women Entrepreneurial Empowerment, commonly called WEE. The organization's mission is empowering women entrepreneurs through a platform of visibility, education, and strategic growth and development within the networking arena. Their doors are open to women of all ages, millennials, new startups, small business, and those needing a boost. If you are committed to excellence and you want to know more about WEE platform, message founder Sabrina Protic on Facebook or email her at www.agelesstechniques.com. Back to Thriving Women Talk.
Welcome back to Thriving Women Talk. Today we're talking to Galit Ventura Rosen, author, speaker, and business success coach. Galit, you wrote an article in the Las Vegas Agent magazine on the 4 strategies to run our business as entrepreneurs. Would you mind sharing those 4 strategies with us
just
today?
So you know, I'm actually going to look at my notes because I don't want to forget them and go on my little tangent. I'm going to look over here on the left because Gina, we're so good at that. And you can read all my articles on my website, Galit Ventura Rosen. I've got so many that you can pull information out. So the first thing that you need to think of is you've got to recognize that 4 strategies to run our business as entrepreneurs. A lot of women that start their own business don't recognize you have to invest in yourself and you have to invest in your business. That one is a really tough one, especially for women that come from 9-to-5 jobs or corporate jobs. They're like, what do you mean? I have to spend money on myself and on my business? Yes. Please put together a budget. Recognize there's marketing, recognize there's coaching, recognize there's tools that you need to be successful. So that's going to be the number 1 thing. The number 2 thing is delegate. You are now an entrepreneur. You have to learn to delegate, and you have to spend your time in your highest and best use. And I use this really simple example. If your VA costs $25 an hour and you're making $500 an hour, you best not be doing what the VA is doing, because you're losing $475 an hour every time you do a task you can delegate. Number 3 is time management. Please set 3 goals. And if something is not directly related to your goals, say no. It's simple. Listen, no. It was a big challenge for me in my life to learn how to say no. But then I realized that when I was saying yes to some things that were not directly related to my goals, I was taking away from my kids, from my loved ones, from me. So learn to say no and make sure that you are setting up your time and using it in the best and highest use. And the fourth thing is you've got to remember that you always need to be a step ahead. As an entrepreneur that runs her business with employees, VAs, clients, I'm always looking at the next step before they are. What is it that's going to happen next? What is it I should be prepared for next? What we're going through right now in these times is a great example. So many businesses freaked out because they had to go online and they weren't prepared. Well, if they had looked a step ahead, they would have recognized that we live in an online world, and let's set up a second part to our business if it's brick and mortar, just in case, so we can meet that online demand.
Wonderful. Thank you. Such amazing tips. Thank you for sharing, Galit. I know Sylvia had something to share.
Yes, Galit. Can you share what inspired you to write the book, Successful Woman Mindset? And what nuggets does it provide for women?
Sure, absolutely. So the Successful Woman's Mindset, typically people immediately assume, because I've owned my own business for 25 years, that it's about making a lot of money and being successful in your business. It's not. I'll share with you a few of my chapters just so you can wrap your head around it. One of the chapters is Oprah status is achievable. Another one is she believes she can. Another one is she learns from her competition. She is open to opportunities. And there's 21 chapters. The nuggets that you could get from this book is that I'm not going to sit in this book and tell you the definition of success. It is up to you to come up with your definition of success. The CEO of a Fortune 500 company versus the mom that's sitting at home raising 4 abiding citizens, that to me is success. Doesn't matter what end of the spectrum you're on. So come up with your definition of success. And the nuggets you can recognize are, there are 21 chapters. Go to the chapter that speaks to you most. You don't even have to read it in order, and recognize that when you implement the characteristics of the successful mindset, the only limitation is you. And when you learn to get out of your own way, the possibilities are really limitless, because you are your only block and you are your only challenge.
Wow, I love that. You set your own success limits. That's great. I mean, and the fact that I don't have to read a book in the order it's supposed to be, nope. I just go to what I want to instead. That's amazing. So I got a chance to visit your website, and you have many projects and you have many accomplishments. I just want to ask you, what are you most proud of?
Oh gosh, Noelle, I'm going to say my 3 kids. Are you kidding me? I'm such a mom. It doesn't matter that I've gotten 30 awards in the last 4 years since I started my online business. And I've been so blessed to have the most amazing opportunity show up just like this with Sabrina. And I have to tell you that my biggest accomplishment is my 3 kids, 24, 21, and 17. They are so different, but they are the most amazing human beings, and I can already see the wonderful things that they're doing for this world. My youngest wants to be a nurse, and she's 17, and she's known for probably 10 years and is so committed to helping others. And each one has their own way. My oldest was running charity events at his college and president of different kinds of organizations. And my middle one, he's like that kid with the heart of love and gold and just wants to love everybody. And he's in cybersecurity and he's in his last year of college. And I look at these 3 kids. First of all, they like to spend time with me, which is so awesome. And I just see the love that they are in this world, that they treat everybody equally and always want good for everyone, no matter who they are. And to me, that's success, because my definition of success is if I'm showing my kids the world is their playground. My oldest went to college for 4 years, worked for someone for 1 year, knew he wouldn't last. I was like, you're an entrepreneur. Now he's an entrepreneur and he just turned 24. So that's my success.
Oh, I can honestly see how that is your proudest success. I mean, truly remarkable children you have there. And so our viewers want to know, what is next for you?
Oh my gosh. I just signed with a national publicist, a celebrity publicist that found me. And I'm like freaking out because it's my purpose. It's my drive. It has nothing to do with what I want. It has to do with what I'm supposed to do in this world. So next up is going to be another book. I'm very, very excited. I don't know what yet, so I can't share it. And then there'll be a TEDx talk. And after that, hopefully my own TV show. And I've made it my purpose and my passion in life to show as many women as possible that you can have it all. You know, I always think back, Noelle, to a time last year I was flown out to Montreal to speak at a leadership event. And I stood in front of 25 women. And I said, I'm a mom. I have a loving relationship. I run 2 businesses. I'm a philanthropic person. And I cook every night. And this woman said, something's got to give. And I said, no, actually it doesn't. That's what society has taught you, that something's got to give for women. And I'm sorry, but that's BS. We can have it all, and it is possible as long as you want it.
I love it. Yes, we all are looking forward to continuing watching you, and we love to see women grow. We're all about thriving women on this show, and we look forward to continue having you, seeing you, and hopefully we'll have you back on the show soon. I mean, this is truly amazing. I like to bring in Sabrina for a bit and see what, I'm sure she's dying to say something.
What? You know what? I want to validate Galit for this. When I had my collaboration phone call with her, we did talk about her kids. She does love her children, and that's part of her. So when she says you can have it all, you can have family, you can have business, you can have your things that you love to do, your recreational things, you can have it all. But, you know, she's right, having that balance. So thank you so much for letting us know, Galit, that we can strike that balance, but we can still, whatever we want on our plate, we can have it there. But what we want to talk about, 2020 has certainly been a year of change. It's been an eye-opener. In the coming year, many more of us will find ourselves facing complex challenges in our lives and finding happiness and fulfillment in this whole maze of thing that we call life. It may be that our life is going fine and beautiful. I call it hearts and roses. And, maybe everything is just wonderful. But on the surface, maybe it seems wrong. Maybe we find ourselves carrying a nagging feeling that there's this gap, or there's something that we're missing, or maybe there's some potential thing that we could be, or whatever. Maybe we just haven't felt that vibe or that feeling that we want to feel. Well, this is when this whole coaching process that we talked about came into play. And remember, the word coach can encompass business. It can encompass life. It's a mindset. It's a lot of things. It's strategy. We get it. We understand that there has to be a certain vibe and a certain vibration, a certain connection. And then you have to know what it is you're looking for. I think Galit put it beautifully. Tell me what it is you're missing. And so did Gina, as she went on to talk about those things. So there is definitely a place, an even bigger place now, for coaching, as you examine all the domains of your life and you go beyond just the normal routine, ho-hum, routine of life. Interested in working with a coach? Well, here are a few resources and help you get started. You can take action to transform your life and embrace new challenges. You know, your coach can help you monitor the level of attention that's needed in your life to keep your engines going, your level of energy up, and your vitality to not only just function, not just have that daily routine, but to get the necessary sleep that you need and to make sure your well-being and your wellness and your mind, that you're healthy. They also coaching, they help you get your alignment right and your energy right and your emotions right. So there are things that we call energy drainers. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but these energy drainers are things that are toxic. They could be toxic relationships, toxic conversations, worrisome thoughts, things that keep you up at night. They just burn and drain all the fuel out of you. And then there's something called energy gainers. They're like supportive things, supportive conversations, they're validations, it's meditations, it's walks with nature, it's replenishment. When you feel good about yourself, you're getting your batteries recharged. It's that whole turbocharged thing. So a coach can be a very helpful element in your life to help you pursue your dreams and identify those drainers and gainers, and then creating a life where you never feel like you're unfulfilled. It's like, hey, what's next? So here are some things that we want to share with you. Naomi Life Coaching Directory. There's an International Coaching Federation. There's a board certified coach credentials and the International Society for Coaching Psychology. Those are just some places that you could go to if you're searching for that why or that coach, or you want some validation. Should I seek a coach? We like to, again, we want to thank everybody. Let's get everybody on, our co-host, get them on screen while we end our show. There you are. Thank you. Look at those beautiful smiling faces. We've had a very empowering show today. We want to thank Galit Ventura Rosen, our special guest today. We want to thank our Thrive Tribe that was with us here today. That's Noel Ramos, Gina Marie Casano, Sylvia Camacho, and Brianna Johnson. Special thank you always to our Thriving Women producer, Daryl A. Johnson, and also CEO of SIBN Network and engineer Alan Chafin. The two of those guys, they make it possible. We also want to ask you to tune into our Thriving Women Network show, our sister show called Uncomfortable Conversation. That's a morning show every Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. with Pete Berardi, Brandy Taylor, Aaron Bear, and Ricky Burney. That's every Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. I've had the privilege of co-hosting that show and watching that show, and it's phenomenal. You can email all your questions to thrivingwomen@gmail.com. And also feel free to join our Trendsetter Mentorship Group. We're on Facebook. We'd love to have you be a part of our group each week and meet up with us. And you can follow these wonderful co-hosts at any given time. They're all over social media. Again, Gina Marie Casano, Galit Ventura, Noel Ramos, Brianna Johnson, Sylvia Camacho, and myself, Sabrina Prochik. We want to thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week on Thriving Women Talk.
You can follow all of our hosts on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you're interested in joining the Trendsetter Mentor Group or being a guest on Thriving Women Talk, email Daryl Johnson at npartners@yahoo.com. We believe you will continue to thrive